The Wade and Carter Show is a paid programming.
Hello, YouTubers.
Magic 95 assumes no responsibility for its content, and the Wade and Carter
AOC owes some back taxes. The Flames 31 years ago raised the cup. We'll discuss a little bit of a downer May this has been. Cowboys update, CDC report, and a whole lot more coming up on today's Wade and Carter Show. Wow.
Now, before we do this, let's go over the ground rules. Rule number 1, no touching of the hair or face. Of course. That's it. Now let's do this.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning to you,
How
sir.
are you today?
I'm good.
How was
Very
your
good.
Memorial Day weekend?
Very good. Yesterday was kind of reflective. I was very pleased to see that Lowe's stores nationwide had like a decorated parking spot. Each store had a contest, if you will, to decorate a spot.
They have those spots all the time for veterans, but I believe
They
they
decorated
Yeah.
it for the memorial. I'm not sure it's a day of mourning so much as a day of reflection, a day of respect.
definitely
Yeah, it was, but it was good.
somber.
It was.
It's
good
always a
weekend.
somber weekend for me. I
It
just
should be.
yeah. So let's do this.
Wade and Carter weather tells you that it's 68 degrees in Victoria this morning. Coming off those thunderstorms last night, expect a chance of rain until mid-morning, and then it should be mostly sunny the rest of the day and a high of only 85, which
Nice.
we will take. That's not bad.
Not bad at all. End of May, 85. I'd take that any day.
85 degrees.
CW Bean is in. Stephen Kidder I saw checking in. David Rice, good morning. Christina Wise, Bobby Leister, Chris Conrad, good morning to you. Lisa Poole,
Steve Kidder having withdrawal.
Michael Jolly, 59 YouTube subscribers. I think that's an increase of 1 over
Yes.
the weekend. David Glass, good morning. There's the Iceman. I think he's down in Seadrift this morning. Judge Posey, good morning. Marvin
sir.
Mickish,
We only need 941 more.
Patrick Strauss, Clayton Meyer. Got to give a shout out to Clayton Meyer. I needed a couple of 4x4s cut, and I don't have a saw that can get the job done. So I called Clayton up. He said, "Bring those puppies over here and let's get it done."
No problem.
No problem.
Big
So,
table saw.
big double bevel miter saw. Nice. Got
Nice.
it done. He built a little table, kind of dropped it in, done.
No worries.
No worries at all. So appreciate Clayton stepping up, coming to the rescue. Thank you, sir.
38, 39, whatever it takes.
Chris Jansen, good morning. Drove by Jansen Beef Masters on the weekend, and he's got a brand new sign sitting out there. I don't know who did it, but it looks good.
Brisket's $200. Come on,
An
buddy,
ounce.
get your brisket. Why is it when you go to places like
Will Vincent, good morning to you, Will.
Sam's, they've got drumsticks, they've got leg quarters, they've got wings, but they don't have any chicken breast. Every time you kill a chicken, there's 2 breasts, just like there's 2 legs. You can buy legs by the 12-pack. You can't find breast meat.
Not by the 12-pack.
No.
Breasts are always in 5-packs. They don't even,
Pairs.
not even 6-packs. They're
They
like
should always
5 in a
just be in
pack.
pairs,
You would think.
similarly sized.
Ryan Hopping checking in. Lisa Poole, Johnny Houghton, good morning. Andy Schneider, Don
There's
Nicole.
T-Lab, the world's greatest sport.
Monik Joe, Serena Scherer. See who else is in. I got Johnny Houghton texted me. He had he lives out in western Manitoba and has a big
Right.
ranch out there, and he's got horses. His son, I think his son ropes or steer wrestles or something along those
Or
lines.
both.
Or both. He probably does both. He probably does all those
Cowboy
stock
things.
events. And he sent me a picture. He goes, "You might be a redneck if you have a foal in the back of your pickup truck." And on the floor in the back of his pickup truck, he had a foal.
That's very cool.
So I'm just curious, Johnny, how'd that little foal do? Did it survive? Wasn't doing well.
So when your name's Johnny Houghton, it reminds me of fired our guns, but the British kept coming. What was
Johnny
Johnny
Horton.
Horton was that guy's
That was
name.
Johnny Horton.
Not to be confused with Tim Horton.
No, not at all.
Still selling the best coffee on the planet.
I like it. A lot of people don't, but I
I'm
think
not
it's
a coffee person.
no, you're not.
I've heard it's great though.
I do like it. I do. Randy Langston, good morning to you. Michael Guajardo, Jeff Meyer checking in. Ron Sitkus, Scott Snow.
Is it odd or is it a slap in the face to the vacation ability of Canada if I tell you that if I ever go and have a driving tour of Canada, I will stop at a Tim Hortons.
You have to.
But what is that in Texas? What's Tim
Starbucks.
Hortons? No, because that's a Seattle thing. That's a Seattle thing.
Yeah, but Tim Hortons is across Canada.
But
so is
Canadian
Starbucks.
thing. Well, I know, but
it started in Hamilton.
I don't mean what's it similar to as far as that goes. I mean, what is you got to go there if you come to Texas? Give me you got to go. I mean, I guess the Alamo is kind of a you got to go because that's the world's biggest disappointment.
The Alamo?
Take a kid to the Alamo, they go, that's it. It ain't that big.
I wouldn't have appreciated the Alamo as a kid, but as an adult, when you understand the history and the battle, then you start to appreciate it. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Johnny.
That's a shame.
I know he.
Good effort.
Yeah, no, it was. I know he.
His
damnedest.
It bothers me that if you're
good morning.
Alamo, you're like, that you're standing on ground where people died in front of Ripley's Believe It or Not. Now, I'm not saying that I applaud San Antonio.
Stephen Kidder, thank you for coming to our rescue. Buc-ee's would be
is a good call. Because I think a lot of folks from out of the country wouldn't believe the audaciousness of
Ask J-Dub and Anita.
Never seen anything like it.
About Buc-ee's. It's when they come to Texas, they stop and they spend hours there.
It's if Sam's and 7-Eleven had an offspring, it would be a Buc-ee's. Right? Well, and even Marcus, because everything is retail plus.
Yeah. And nobody has a problem paying it either.
Yeah, it's there's a Yeti cooler, suggested retail $3.95 on sale today, $5.50. People are going, gotta have one. I got it at Buc-ee's. It's even got a beaver on it.
It's got the beaver on it. Yeah. And I'm convinced beaver nuggets are nothing more than that corn pop cereal from when we were kids.
Yeah.
With a little more sugar on it.
I tell you what.
Kind of a cross between corn pops and sugar crisp.
Or they
can't get enough of that sugar.
That caramel corn. So every now and then we get one of those. You'll get the bucket. Somebody will give it as a Christmas gift. And it's got the 3-way divider.
Yeah, it's got the cheese,
corn,
regular popcorn,
and the caramel corn.
And the regular popcorn is always the one that nobody eats.
The caramel is gone like day one.
Yeah.
People are like, whatever the caramel corn. I don't know. I'm over there burping.
They should sell just caramel corn buckets, do they? I don't know. I've never seen one. But boy, they should.
I do not know that.
Matt Boucher, checking in. Good morning.
We appreciate you folks listening in.
Randy Langston says what they're doing to the Alamo is ridiculous. I need to get up to speed because I don't know all the details on.
I haven't studied it all. I know that George P. Bush, the GLO, the land office, is involved in this, and I don't know exactly what is going. I'll tell you what.
I believe the way it was explained to me and the way I understood it. That Alamo is on too valuable commercial property to be where it is.
Well, they're going to leave it there, but it's a function of what are they going to do with the land around it? Because in a lot of ways, it is. You go to Gettysburg, there's still a wide open field there. This is the history of our state. Yeah. I remember as a little kid when Emily Morgan was there, and there wasn't much else down there.
I think what they don't want. I think San Antonians are embarrassed that you have a Ripley's Believe It or Not right across from the Alamo.
Yeah, 50 yards from the gate.
That's what they're embarrassed about.
I'm embarrassed about it. I'm embarrassed about Ripley's Believe It or Not, period.
And they've got a Madame Tussauds wax museum there, right? I mean, but they obviously can make a go of it. They haven't closed up. I mean.
Well, you know what it is? The kids. Mom and Dad drag them down to the Alamo.
Yeah, Mom and Dad go to the Alamo and they take the kids over there.
And then the kids are like, really? You owe us. Take us to Ripley's. And by the way, Ripley's is like an $85 ticket or something ridiculous.
They're not cheap.
I didn't know it was a big deal. It's all reproductions of stuff. It's not like a museum.
But what I don't know. To me, it's just more, I hate to say it's government overreach.
Well, I agree. It's a supply and demand market. It's San Antonio's stuff. Maybe we can ask Jesus Garza about that. He was a assistant city manager in San Antonio for a long time. And at the very least, I bet he has an opinion
problem.
We can get him in here Thursday. So don't forget, folks, this is Tuesday. So not tomorrow, but the next day, after a year on the job.
Thank you for explaining the.
Today is Tuesday. Tomorrow Wednesday.
Thank you for explaining the calendar
no
to us.
No laundry.
We had no clue.
No, that would not surprise me.
No.
We're going to have Jesus Garza in studio. I'm looking forward to that. Be thinking of questions you would like us to ask Jesus Garza.
Or you can simply call Thursday morning and ask him yourself.
No, we don't want you to call anymore. Don't do it. Good morning, Jim Hartman.
Joe Gomez checking in.
You know, seeing Mr. Hartman there reminds me it's a great time to tell you with the VCS companies, Rocket Oilfield Services, and the only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer. The Hartman family provides all of these services and service-oriented businesses to Victoria. What started out as a two-way radio shop has turned into surround sound, fire suppression, surveillance, security systems, all types of municipal building sound systems and wiring, Cat5 wiring, all the modern day conveniences that you need and want. The Hartmans, VCS, Rocket, AT&T all provide. Reach out to the local AT&T store today. You can go back in. You can also pick up all of your accessories, the iPhone 11, the Samsung units, iPads.
Still offering curbside service as well.
All the devices you need. That's why they're the banner sponsor. We try to emulate their quality. Allen's Wrecker Service.
578-6300. Saw a few Allen's Wrecker Service units on the road. Either going or coming from. Well, no, it couldn't have been coming from because they were empty. So they must have been going to.
Going to the Valley on Friday evening, we saw one of the big 18-wheeler capable tow rigs pull out, and he was pulling a big red Freightliner tractor.
It must have been a busy weekend for Allen's because I saw one of his older trucks on the road. One of the big, I think the big white one that you don't see very often.
With the burnt orange letters on it. It's been around a while. Allen's Rigger Service, folks, 578-6300. They're the go-to tow-to. SCT Building Systems, Clayton and Casey Help. Small business, Victoria, local, great folks. They'll work with you on your next project.
564-8864 is the number to call. Any construction project that you're thinking about, start with a call to SCT and go from there.
Yeah, she shed to a warehouse, to a barn dominium, whatever you need, they've got it. Furnish it at Chestnut Furniture Company, 116 West Swan Lane.
They've only been in business for just a scant 100 years.
Yep. Corner of Juan Lynn Bridge for the last 70 years.
They don't know what the heck they're doing.
No chance. They're just lucky. They didn't build that business. Barack Obama built that business. Reach out to Chesney. Bobby Leon and his family will help you as his dad did and his granddad before him. Reach out to Chesnick and you'll be glad you did. Chesnick and Love make your house a home, and you just do better at Chesnick.
Tom Price checking in. Good morning to you. Brent Anderson. We're huge in Cochrane, Alberta this morning. Errol Ursel checking in.
There's another one of your Eastern Bloc family. Yep. Say that again for me.
Errol Ursel.
So when he
Errol like Flynn, except with only one L, Ursel.
His real name is Leon Sarley, but it comes across over here as Errol Ursel.
Is what it is. Something's lost in the translation.
Errol Ursel. This is my sister's Felga. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to do with that. Why can't whatever happened to like Bill Smith? There's Bill Smith checking in from Manitoba.
Everybody's Bill Smith.
Where's Pete Montana?
I haven't seen Pete lately. Probably working.
You know, we have some regulars.
There's my beautiful wife, Cheryl, checking in.
She's fairly regular.
Yeah.
We have some regulars from out of the area, like Uncle Norm. I talked to Norm yesterday.
Did you? Good.
Yeah, well,
that was Uncle Norm.
I called Norm and I told him, I said, you know what, I want to, on Memorial Day, I want to thank you for being one of those veterans that didn't pay the ultimate price.
You thank him on Veterans Day, though.
Yeah, but I thanked him yesterday because I was like, if you wouldn't have come home, you couldn't have invested as much time in me.
True.
But he
Lord
was very,
knows you needed it.
Yes, no pun intended. He was very sincere about Memorial Day. I think when you're a veteran and you realize it's uncanny how many veterans take the mentality when they lost a friend over there or a mate, a guy that they fought with. How many of
From
them,
my side, a comrade.
but how many of them feel like it should have been me? It should have been him. It should have been me. I think there's just I know from listening to folks, there's just a bond. You go to battle with somebody, you have a bond that is stronger than a brotherhood. So thank you to all of our veterans that can hear us, and then thank you posthumously to all those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms. I wonder how many of our military dead. I wonder how many just flipping their graves at the idiocy put upon us by our Congress, by Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. I wonder how many Marine veterans from Iwo Jima would walk up.
I'm not going to leave it on one side of the aisle because there's a bunch of
you're right.
idiots on the Republican
That's a
side
fair
as well.
statement. I said Congress, but then I start thinking about Pelosi, and I wonder how many of our military dead would walk up and just throat punch Schiff. Just say you're a punk.
None, because they took an oath to defend the Constitution, and I think even though they're idiots, they would respect that. The fact that the voters keep getting it wrong over and over and over again.
Not in my best dreams. In my best dreams, Sergeant Rock walks up and punches Adam Schiff.
Well, Sergeant Rock might.
Good morning, Marty Stockbauer. That's my favorite mother-in-law.
Diana Quinn checking in. Larry Leahy, Karen Webb, Amy Mundy.
Marty and I went to school together at different schools.
Rob Pupey, good morning to you. Steve Tyler, Teresa Garza.
Good morning.
Geez, the old Victoria Crunch rugby squad is we got 3 or 4 of us checking in this morning.
What did Iceman say about Tito Ortiz? What was he telling?
Apparently Tyson says he wants to fight Tito Ortiz.
Why can't Mike just go have a couple of tune-up bouts in the light heavyweight division and then challenge for the belt? Why do you gotta kind of hokey yourself up?
You got to have a tune-up fight here and there.
I wouldn't want to be Tito Ortiz because the storyline doesn't involve Tito Ortiz. It involves Mike Tyson, and Tito Ortiz is going to get beat up.
Yeah. It's almost, when you get to that point, it's almost like wrestling with its scripted rivalries that never, ever, 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 ever in the history of the WWE began in the ring. That was always the good thing with Stampede Wrestling growing up. If Davey Boy Smith and Dynamite Kid were wrestling and they were good guys, and then they were enemies, then they became friends, and then they became enemies again. But
they had a falling
the genesis was always in the ring.
Those are my tights. No, those are my tights.
No, that's how the WWE ones start. They manufacture it outside the ring and build it up for months, and then it ends up in the ring. And I'm like,
but Danny Boy, he was real.
Davey Boy.
Davey Boy. He was really mad at his buddy.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Well, actually, Dynamite Kid was mad at Davey Boy because Davey Boy interfered in a match.
And you think he was really mad at him?
Oh, yeah.
I love it. What's funny is those guys, they have to pay a price because they can't just go to the bar together afterwards. Like, here, let me stitch that.
Yeah.
And they don't, because they got to keep the illusion that they hate each other.
But they were kind of like rodeo cowboys back in the day. They'd all get in the same car and drive to the next venue.
I can remember those guys really having like cuts on their forehead and bleeding, and they have like a little piece of razor blade to cut themselves.
Yeah, they would slice themselves real thin.
Uh-huh.
I got taught one time, not taught, but I was told one of the tricks of the trade. And they would slice themselves real thin, and they would get a small scab, and then they'd get the scab off, right? They'd wet it so it wouldn't, so it would be there. Then when they get punched in the head and they go down, and then they kind of use their sharp nails and pull it apart. Blood.
And there comes the blood.
Yeah. It wasn't blood packets. This is real legitimate blood back in the day. Yeah. And the forehead will bleed bad, but you haven't really done any damage to yourself. But if you look, all those old wrestlers, they've got scarred up. Yeah. Those aren't wrinkles. So I hope Vince McMahon will off me now for.
We give T-Light a shout out this morning. Donnie, when you leave the house, with that parking lot we've got going, be very, very cautious. There's a lot of vehicular substance.
Johnny Hodden asked, didn't Davy Boy and Dynamite both marry Hart girls? I believe they both did. Yes, sir.
Well, where are their offspring? That's like Secretariat marrying someone from Manowar.
Davy Boy, his son Harry Smith was a wrestler. And,
Harry Smith.
Well, what are you going to do when your name's David Smith? You're going to, I mean, come on. Can't go too far with that one.
Right.
There's J Dub checking in. Gil Garcia, good morning. Memorial Day aside, this May has just been a real downer for me. Yesterday kind of cemented it. 31 years ago, the Flames won the Stanley Cup. Wearing my Flames gear in honor of, I remember where I was.
Nice product.
Watched the game and partied on Electric Avenue after they won it against Montreal.
So there really was an Electric Avenue? That song was real?
Electric Avenue was long. Electric Avenue was around long before Eddie Grant sung the song.
Is it still there?
No.
Okay.
The bar we used to party at is now a daycare.
Well, if it was an adult daycare, it would be life coming full circle for you.
It would, and there's still time, but it's not.
I can remember being in Cleveland and going to the Flats, and it was like the happening spot. And then I was told nobody goes there.
Yeah. But what's interesting is we should be in the thick of the NHL playoffs right now.
Baseball
season should be, the winners and the losers will start to sort themselves out after almost 2 months of baseball.
Yeah, the Astros would be like 25-5.
Yeah. NBA playoffs, who cares, would be starting, or at least about 2 weeks in.
This just in, James Harden scores 48
and the Rockets
lose by 3 to Golden State.
Yeah. Because Harden didn't get out to cover Steve Kerr off the bench to hit the three to win it.
Or the Rockets had a chance late, and Kerr pulled the defense off of Harden, who missed an uncontested 3. That's what would happen.
Yeah. Third Saturday in May, what usually happens?
Kentucky Derby.
Didn't happen.
What else happens on Memorial Day?
Well, Sunday of Memorial Day weekend, right?
Yeah.
Indy 500, nope.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. First time ever the Indy 500 did not run on this weekend, except I think during the war years, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
They've moved it to August, but it's just not going to be the same.
And folks, I've got real mixed emotions. Like, I'm going to be curious if 2 weeks from now we see this huge, extraordinary spike in COVID-19, because there were a lot of people intermingling on beaches and in public and bars that were over the 25% capacity and yada yada. But I have to tell you,
Sylvester Turner's going to save the day. He's going to start cracking down on these businesses that are over the 25%.
Sylvester needs to leave people alone. The problem we've got is, again, everybody's offended for everybody else. If you don't want to go out, don't go out. If you want to wear a mask, wear one.
I remember making a comment a couple of months back when Canada was starting to lock everything down and the U.S. hadn't done any, states in the U.S. hadn't done anything yet. And I said, I said, just wait. When the weather starts warming up and Canadians are clamoring to get outside, there is going to be Katie unbar the door.
Right. They're
going to be wanting out. They're going to be wanting, when the weather turns nice, they're going to be in the parks. They're going to want to go to their cottages. They're going to want to go to the lakes. And I got lambasted by a bunch of Canadians who said, no, because Canadians aren't like Americans. We care about our fellow Canadians. We're not like that. And then over the weekend, Torontonians, who you could argue maybe aren't Canadians.
Are they Torontoans?
They absolutely just bum rushed the parks, forgot all about social distancing. These parks look like our beaches.
Yeah. With the brown grass and little patches of snow.
It's green now. Yeah. Still a little bit of snow in the shady areas where it didn't quite melt, but I thought Canadians cared about their fellow Canadians and wouldn't do that, according to the lambasting I received. But
I just feel like it's interesting that there was an article in the media this morning
Yeah, sorry, first Saturday. You're right, Christina. I
saying
forgot.
93,000 Americans have died of coronavirus, but they figure that number's about 30,000 low. Really? You really think they're off by 33%? How is that optimistic? How is that anything more than fear mongering?
Well, didn't Colorado revise their numbers downward by a couple hundred? about a
Everybody
week
has
ago?
revised their numbers downward. And the whole gist was there's a moral hazard. There is an incentive for hospitals to say that you're dying of coronavirus. 13 grand if you're admitted with it, 39,000 more if you end up dying from it.
You know, I don't believe that to that point, because the auditing and the potential for fraud from the government and the charges that would come on the back end of an audit, I can't see it. I can't see a short-sighted hospital administrator going, yeah, pump those numbers because he wants his career to end in 2 years
Fair
when
enough.
they start auditing.
Randy Langston provides your answer. What do we do if we don't see the numbers and it's all a lie to grab power? What then? Do you know that? Give you some perspective.
I'm not saying that I don't. I believe right now you've got certain states and governors who it's all about power and control, and I think there's some on the Democratic side who think this is a way to keep the election from.
Let me give you a couple of numbers, Ash. Make you think about something. If I gave you $1 a second, in 12 days, you'd be a millionaire. You'd have $1 million in 12 days. To get to $1 billion would take 32 years. At $1 a second, it would take 32 years to get to $1 billion. Do you know how long? Well, the math is easy from that point. 32,000 years at $1 a second to get to $1 trillion. And Nancy Pelosi and those fools in Washington are just saying, let's just put $3 trillion over there. Do you know how much money that is? $3 trillion.
It's $1 a second for 32,000 years.
It's $1 a second for 100,000 years.
Crazy. Speaking of crazy good is Veracruz Restaurant, 576-6015. Get on the phone. Call them up when they open. Order your enchilada casserole. Order anything else off the menu that you want.
So well done. 576-6015.
What you weren't able to enjoy for 3 days.
Veracruz, perfect for you. Reach out today. Razor IT Solutions, JP Hull. Reach out to our friend JP. He'll help you with your analytics, your Facebook presence, your website presence, your paywall button that you need to sell your wares over the internet. I think it's going to stay, folks. I think this internet thing is going to stick.
It's been here for a while.
Now's a good time.
Might be replaced by 5G, but
reach out to Razor IT Solutions. John Paul wants to help your small business appear bigger than it is, which will let you grow into your internet presence. Do it. The Ads and Offer dealership since 1926, Victoria's dealership. Chevy, Cadillac, Mazda, Mitsubishi. They've got that and all the gently pre-owned vehicles on their lot ready to deliver today. Reach out to them for all makes and models of service, inspections, paint and body shop. The Ads and Offer experience will leave you ecstatic. Reach out to them for sneaking up on 100 years. White Trash Services hadn't been around as long, having a big impact as well. 550-1826. You need a roll-off dumpster. You need weekly trash service.
Growing by leaps and bounds.
They really are growing.
They had a handful of customers when they bought the business. That was
a yellow notepad. Yeah. And now they've got the family works there. If you call, you get a warm, breathing human being. It's not a press one now type experience.
And they provide services to 6 counties, including Victoria County.
Absolutely. 550-4744. That's Dwayne Proctor. That's our buddy that will fix your laptop, make your laptop talk to your printer. If you've got an old, slow laptop and you want to put whatever it is, Windows 10 on it or whatever, he's your guy. 550-4744.
Probably set you up with a good gaming computer too if you're into gaming. Iceman wants to know who's got a deal on beef jerky vending machines.
It's a great idea.
That would be a great
Commissioner
idea.
Clint Ives, good morning, sir. Hope you're doing well.
I think it's called the Big Chief Sticks at every gas station along the road. I don't think you're gonna. I think that'd be a hard market to cut into.
We need to get Commissioner Ives in studio soon. It's always a fun segment, and yet he's also got a lot of experience to share with us about what's going on in his precinct.
So what do you make of the flap? And I was reading a little bit on this morning, and a lot of rumors out there that Dak Prescott's greedy because he reportedly turned down a 5-year, $175 million deal. And actually, when I read this morning,
I don't know if
those
it's
rumors
greedy, but that's dumb.
well, but the rumors are unfounded. The numbers have been neither side is saying what numbers have been bandied about. I think a lot of the speculation comes from the fact that if they don't come to an agreement by mid-July, he's bound by the franchise tag of $31.1 million or something for the 1 year, right?
Oh, what a tragedy.
Yeah, I know, isn't it though? But those are the numbers that have been bandied about. There's been rumors that he wanted a $10 million a year pay raise in the final year of that 5-year deal. And that was where Jerry Jones said, nope, not going to happen. But think about it. If it's $35 million now for the first 4 years of that deal, and he wants 45 in year 5,
I don't think that's unreasonable.
Not the way salaries go in the NFL. If he's worth 35 now, 5 years later, 45 million is a bargain for a starting quarterback
who should be in his prime at that
be in his prime. And
NFL quarterbacks that are franchisable play 13 to 15 years. The idea that if he's worth, my first thought was that's a sure way to get cut. NFL money is not guaranteed money. So unless
it's structured into the contract,
35, 35, 35, 35, and they go, you know what, we're just going to cut him. We're done with that guy.
And I believe part of the rumors was of that 145 or whatever the number, 175, 101 of it was guaranteed or something like that.
He's a fool not to take that. I'll tell you why, folks. The average NFL career is 5 years or less.
Yeah, running backs is 2-point-something years.
If you're going to tell me that day one I get hurt, you're going to pay me all of my salary for 20, all of my salary for 21, all of my salary for 22, that's guaranteed money, you're an idiot not to sign that contract. If he thinks he's worth $50 million, for what? We can finish 9-7 without him. Well, I mean that.
You look at the Cowboys receiving core. They've got a good offensive line. They have a running back.
They have a great running back.
You've got Andy Dalton as your backup, who signed a 1-year hometown discount deal that I don't think he would have signed anywhere else.
Agree.
And people are saying, because what's Dalton, 33 years old, something like that, right?
Nothing in quarterback years.
Not really.
I'm not convinced that you don't go. I was going to joke and say, so the Cowboys go, I'll make you all feel good, okay? The Cowboys go 10-6 this year with Dak. And they could go 9-7 with Dalton. I believe that. That's how much difference there is between them with the Cowboys system that we've known. I don't know what coach is going to do. But let me tell you, I'm not even sure that that's the case. You've got Amari Cooper, Joey Galloway, and now CeeDee Lamb running slant routes. I haven't seen Dak Prescott more than 2 or 3 times since I've been watching him consistently hit receivers in stride on the wide open routine pass play. He can do some crazy athletic things. But drop back 3 steps, throw the ball over the middle, and hit a guy in stride ain't one of them. And that's a problem. For $35 million, I want that ball right in his chest every time.
Remember the numbers Andy Dalton was putting up when he had good receivers like Ocho Cinco in Cincinnati and didn't have running backs? He had a few, but I don't know that he had the offensive weaponry around him that he does at the Cowboys. And this is a guy that was throwing for over 4,000 yards in Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's as good a receiving core as it is in the NFL. Michael Jolly, I don't think Brady makes $15 million a year.
I think he is down in.
Is he? He
Tampa.
just took that just to
Well,
make a
but
point.
let's put it in
He
perspective.
was making 35 before that.
Well, regardless, 15 million a year in Florida with their taxes, that's like 80 million a year in Boston.
Well, that's true.
So, just trying to put it in perspective for you. Zach Smith checking in. Good morning to you, Scott Tomko. But I don't know that Andy Dalton, if he can still, and he's still got a pretty strong arm from all talk. If the money becomes an issue, I'm not convinced Andy Dalton doesn't lead you to, like you said, about the same record.
Steve Kidder says Mike McCarthy will lift your W's. Whoever's the quarterback, you don't need Dak. Let me tell you, who's going to be good?
And Dalton's probably more of a McCarthy type offensive quarterback than maybe Dak is, because he's more along the lines of Aaron Rodgers, right?
I agree. But I tell you who you better get ready to be good. The New York Giants. They got that Jones kid at quarterback. He's very, very cerebral, very smart, adequately athletic. And guess who just went to be his genius offensive coordinator? Our head
Jason
coach. Garrett goes up there, and they got their new head coach came in from under Belichick, Saquon Barkley.
Stepping. It's a stopgap for Garrett. Garrett will be a head coach in the next year or two.
You think?
Again, I'm convinced. I think here's the thing. Garrett gets out of the shadow and the thumb and the boot
of Jerry
Jones, and Garrett becomes a very, very good head coach. Might even win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's learned some things from a first time around as a head coach. Think about it. The New England Patriots were lambasted by everybody when they hired Bill Belichick. This guy's a loser.
Yeah.
The press up there said this guy doesn't last 2 years, and he's done because he was a terrible head coach in his previous stop. He learned some things. He got a system. He learned how to cheat. Boom, he wins some Super Bowls.
It's all about the air pressure in the balls. No, but no kidding. Saquon Barkley, first Giants running back ever to have back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons to start his career. Barkley's a star. He's going to be the leader of that team. The Jones kid is going to work. I mean, Princeton, Duke, they've got a very cerebral
thinking man's
offense. I'm telling you, the New York Giants are going to be good. Not this year, but next year.
Yeah.
Hide and watch. Michael Strahan anchoring the line. Lawrence Taylor. They're going to be good.
But if the money that
Frank Gifford, Kyle Rote, Sam Huff,
LT,
don't kid yourself.
Russian quarterbacks.
Yeah. They're going to be good. Tiki Barber.
Kathy Lee in the stands cheering them on.
Eli in the background if they need him. Trey Molina says Giants are my team.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Frank Mejia. Yeah, it does.
Funk it, Trey Molina.
But I tell you what, though, if the rumors are true and Dak's turning down that kind of money, I think the Cowboys need to part ways.
Yeah. Well,
although I don't think they can, since they already can.
How
can
many
they? Or do
people
they?
are going to gobble him up? You've already franchised him. He's there, but how many people?
Is he though, or do
I think
he has to sign by a certain date? I don't know. They put the tag on him.
Who wants him? I mean, I'm not saying that I don't like Dak Prescott. I think he's got potential, but I just don't think that just because his contract's up and he happens to be the starter that he demands, out of this world money in a down economy.
No, but I think he's also playing the fact that he's looking behind him and going, okay, Andy Dalton's on a 1 year, $1 million deal or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, so next year you give Dalton $15 million a year. Follow me, folks. You give Dalton $15 million a year. You put the other 20 into some defensive players. Go get me a lockdown corner. Maybe not Earl Thomas, but Earl Thomas' wife with that pistol. Let her play in the backfield.
Now you've got Dalton, who, if he's gotten smart and has learned to manage a game. He's like Trent Dilfer for the Bucks, and he could get you a Super Bowl
Yeah, Trent Dilfer's got a ring.
with enough pieces. There's Warren Bingham checking in. Good morning to you, Warren. We're huge in Seattle this morning.
We are big in Seattle. The Pacific Northwest likes us, I believe, because we provide a conservative alternative.
Yeah, when all they're bombarded with is that idiot Jay Inslee as their governor.
Did you see where that Whitmer lady told everybody not to go to Michigan over the weekend and
Yeah.
then, or go to the lakes and stuff, and then she got caught at the lake?
What else is
And the
new?
Cuomo brothers are fighting publicly about which one of them Mama liked better.
Do
that
as I
guy-
say, not as I do.
How about this? You don't hear any more about Cuomo for president.
Well, when you order all your COVID patients, your elderly COVID patients, to
Back.
be locked up into a nursing home or nursing homes,
How crazy is that? I don't
the
get it.
one demographic the government has been telling us we need to protect the elderly with compromised immune systems. And Cuomo just opens the floodgates to the coronavirus into these things. I mean, if they think Trump needs to be charged with murder because he's responsible for 100,000 deaths in this country?
That's ridiculous.
Oh, it is. But Cuomo's got more direct responsibility.
Absolutely. You know, we're blessed to have my folks live with Dawn and me, and I do find myself consciously reaching out to the hand sanitizer and all that. I've never been like a germaphobe, but I consciously watch surfaces and washing my hands.
I knew that because I think one of the first times I met you, you had this cloud of dust about you like Pigpen.
You hear that? I knew that about you because when you first started talking, I heard wow, 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 wow. I knew
Still
it was
hear
a
that.
match made in heaven. You sound like Charlie
Brown's
Brown's
teacher?
mother or the school teacher. Wow, 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 wow.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what sounds like music to your ears.
What's that?
Get it by Uncle Mutt's Barbecue.
Sounds like music to my mouth.
Unbelievable, Steve Kidder. Brisket, ribs, sausage, chicken, turkey. They've got
Ribs.
it all. Extra ribs. I like ribs. We come a riding into town, a whooping and a holler. Anyway, is that man chewing gum in line? There's no chewing gum in line. Uncle Mutt's Barbecue, folks. All the side dishes, everything is available to go. Go by there. The line moves extremely rapida. Go by there and get it. Today is a fantastic day. I order extra brisket so that I can keep it in the fridge for a fold over. It's fantastic. And we highly recommend Uncle Mutt's Barbecue.
You got some extra tortillas laying around. You drop a couple of those, a couple of slices of brisket into that.
Yeah, you can definitely
Brisket
merge.
taco.
You can merge your
Leftovers.
Veracruz.
Yeah.
There's nothing much better than taking a piece of brisket on a flour tortilla and then hitting it with a little queso and some Veracruz hot sauce.
And a little bit of Uncle Mutt's leftover barbecue sauce.
Throw a little rice in there and call it boudin. You'd be glad you had it. Reach out to Uncle Mutt's this week. Great Barn Design, Cheryl, you can call her at 920-6803. She will just make your event memorable.
Yes.
She'll help you.
She's got
protect
such
your
an eye.
ideas. She does. I mean, look how she makes Ashley. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You ought to see him before.
Someone wonder why.
You ought to
How?
see him. It's just, well, I don't. Anyway, 920-6803. You reach out to Cheryl.
She's laughing now.
She'll help your event be one for the ages. I've seen her work. It's fantastic. It's super duper. She's coming to the White House in the spring, and we're going to make it just terrific. It's going to be, oh my gosh, folks, CNN won't want to cover it. It'll be too beautiful.
Adam Sugar asked, she designed me? No, she didn't. But
Adam
yeah,
Sugar,
it was like
Adam Sugar throat punches, Adam Schiff. I know it would happen.
it was not like Weird Science. She does not dress me though. She can't take. She doesn't want that credit.
Trey Molina says, I want a Wade Carter cap. You have them anywhere? They're on that last stand at Neiman Marcus at that outlet mall. Yeah, we're going to get some more swag made. And